So I was cruising the old interwebs, well, it's been a month back, and I found a style of jacket that I thought would be really kind of cool to make or to buy, whatever. I just thought they were really cool. It's called an anorak, and it's a bush jacket, a boreal jacket, or it's also known as an anorak. And I started pricing stuff out, and boy, oh boy, are they not cheap. So after tons of research, I realized that there are three major places that make a wool anorak. Leicester River Bushcraft makes one. They retail for $295. They are 100% wool. Boreal Mountain makes an anorak. It's $285. They're a 95% wool, 5% acrylic blend. And Weather Wool makes a 100%, but it's a merino wool, so it would actually be a much nicer jacket, but they are $600 plus. So I'm an old guy. I jump on Facebook because that's where I'm at. And all my ads, how they steal all your information and use it against you. All my ads start showing up for these anoraks that are 100% wool, made in the USA. They looked really, really awesome. $39.99. I mean, how could a guy resist? Actually, I could resist. I knew what I was going to get, but I thought, man, even if it's a total piece of crap, I can at least wear it as, a light jacket or something like that. It can't be that bad, can it? So here is my 100% wool, made in the USA anorak that I got, made in China, 0% wool. As a matter of fact, I don't even know what it's made out of. It's like wearing a cross between a plastic bag and wool felt. Except it is just like, there is no wool in this. What I realized is all the advertising they're using, they stole from the Leicester River Bushcraft site. They're using their pictures and everything. So I spent $40, well, on a piece of crap. I don't know what else to call it. I've taken my headlamp and stuck it just in the sleeve just to show you how sheer this cloth is. Certainly nothing to brag about. I wore this outside, the wind was blowing just a little bit, and it blows right through this thing. So I knew when I paid $39 for a $300 garment that I would not get anything special. But folks, if you're looking at one of these, stay away. They are not worth it. I knew I was hoodwinked with this made in the USA jacket as soon as I pushed send on the payment. And I got an email that said I just sent $40 to Shanghai, China. And I knew I'd been hoodwinked. So I thought to myself, what the heck? I'll get it. I'll take the pattern. And I'll make my own. I can't afford a $300 jacket. Or maybe I just don't want to spend $300 on a jacket. I'm not sure which. So let's do a quick rundown of this, well, piece of crap. I don't know what else again to call it. Sleeve holes, big enough to stick my legs through. I know that anoraks generally cover your mouth, but I just learned that I'm not a big fan of this style. I wanted something just a little bit lower. If it gets that cold, I'll wear a balaclava. For as big and baggy as this thing is, it's horribly restricting. It's almost like felt. It sticks to your clothing and it does not move at all. So it's horribly uncomfortable to wear. Nice pockets. A little bit high. And the other thing I was really disappointed with is the coverage. I was looking for something that would cover my pockets in the front, and something that when I sat down would go to my knee So I would have, oh goodness. So you just have that extra layer of insulation when you go to sit on something that's either wet or snowy or just plain cold. Well, so when it's all said and done, it wasn't even worth the price of a pattern. I started doing quite a bit of research on making your own anorak, and I found that a lot of people are using it's a Boreal shirt or jacket pattern from a company called Green Pepper. Seemed reasonable, so I threw down the $8 and I ordered it up, and I also started looking at what kind of material I wanted to use. I actually looked at getting a merino wool blanket and making it out of that. They're a little more expensive, not so much more that it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. It still would have been in the $120, $130 range for the material for it. I just wasn't completely sold on it. So I found a 90% wool blanket. It is an Italian military surplus blanket. It is not an original. The originals were 100%, but they're getting very, very hard to find. I just like the color of it. It's kind of a grayish, tannish, grayish coat anyway. So I was visiting my daughter. I found myself in Idaho at the surplus store I get all my ammo cans from. And I went in there and they actually had an Italian officer's jacket. Now, I am a fair to middling seamster. I'm not a seamstress. And I almost wish that I'd have just bought the regular coat. The officer's coat has a lot of stripes in it. I thought it would look way cooler having all the different colors on it and everything, but it just made it way harder to sew because you have to line all the stuff up. Not really my cup of tea. I like to build stuff. It's not the first garment I've ever sewn in my life, though. So I was able to put it together fairly well. I was in the blanket, gotta remember, $34.99. So $35 in the blanket. My wife has like 6 sewing machines. She sews for real. She makes little kids' clothes and big kids' clothes and all sorts of stuff. So thank goodness I was able, to use her equipment. I had to buy some paracord. I believe it was, $6 for 50 feet of it. And I bought a eyelet kit. So I'd like to go over one thing. These blankets are made in India. They're, like I said it before, but the 90% wool, 10% acrylic. They're a very heavy weight. I'll show you the light test to show you the difference. I'm trying to even get to where it is. You can see it there. 5 times as thick as the 100% wool made in America, 0% wool made in China jacket that I fell for. All right, so the first step in making this was I got the Green Pepper, I believe it was, pattern out. We cut all the pieces out. We laid it all out. And I got to tell you guys, it was absolutely ridiculous. I didn't throw the pattern away because, as I said, my wife does sew. I may end up with a soft shell version of that pattern, which would be awesome. But for this, well, not so much. This is a very square cut, clunky, whatever you want to call it. But I made it the way I like it. I made it a pattern that fits me. It's very comfortable to wear. It's extremely warm. I wore this when it was 40 degrees outside the other day, and I was dying. I had to take it off. It is just too much jacket for that. It's just very warm. So let's go over what I did. So as I stated before, it's made in India. It's it's a good blanket. I'm not going to say that there's anything wrong with it. The weight of it's great. The weave of it's good. But they're not as meticulous, I guess, about some stuff. Like I said, when I was trying to line the stripes up as I made this, I did really good on the top stripe, the big wide stripe, but this other stripe, I mean, they're not even the same width. There was no way to connect them, and not the same distance apart. So I did the best that I could using what I had. I did a couple of things that I've just known from making other garments. Putting a gusset in the armpit gives you a lot more room to move your arms around. I do not like the big, gigantic hoods that most anoraks come with. So I actually fitted this. I did do, it's a 3-piece hood. And figuring out well, I guess the hardest thing was figuring out, I wanted to add the stripes to it, just give it a little bit more decoration, but cutting it out, figuring out where each piece went and cutting it all out was really somewhat tricky. It has a drawstring closure here that is backed, so it's not just an open hole. Your chest hair ain't going to show out through it. And wool is a little bit itchy. I don't like the feeling of it against my skin. So where my neck and my chin go, I actually sewed on a piece of polar fleece, so it will not be quite as itchy. And one last thing that I added that you don't see on the commercial models is this kangaroo pocket. This is the back of my coat. So I'll put it on and show you. The front pocket is mainly for keeping your hands warm. If you put a bunch of stuff in it, you can't see where you're walking, and if you're wearing this, it's icy and snowy and cold out. So I didn't make a gigantic pocket on the front. It's not really a storage pocket. This pocket on the back, though, I keep my gloves, my beanie, my fire starter, whatever, and it's within easy reach, and it doesn't obstruct my view, and everything I put in here is just that much more insulation towards what I'm sitting on. Okay, so right off the bat, I was able to make it to where it actually fit me. My sleeves are, big enough I can get my hand through, but I'm not going to let a ton of air in it. Oh, let's see. A pocket lower than the other one. The other one, the pocket's clear up here on my gut. This pocket's just way more comfortable. It comes down. It covers my pockets. It covers everything that I want to keep warm in the front. And in the back, now I don't know how well I'm showing this, covers a ton. And that way, as I want to sit down, well, you can see I'm sitting on the blanket. It just offers that much more insulation. Now, one of the first things I screwed up was this side slit. The first time I did it, it was way lower, and I ended up ripping the seam and making it longer, because when I went to sit down, it tried to choke me to death, and I didn't like that very much. Okay, the hood comes to the front of my face. It doesn't stick out way past. I have a way bigger field of vision as I'm walking. Comes up. I mean, I can tuck my chin in it, but if I get that cold, I'll just put some more layers on. I generally wear a beanie underneath it, and there is room for it in this. Hey, as I stated before, this back pocket right here is just right for stashing your gloves, your beanie, stuff you want to get out of your hands that you don't want to set down and lose. So this is my homemade anorak, made completely by myself. My wife is a very, very good seamstress, but she has to follow patterns. When I started straying from the pattern, she bailed out on me. So I came up with the design off watching some other people's videos, knowing what I liked, what I didn't like. I think this is going to be a great jacket. This is not an ultralight backpacking jacket. This is a winter camp, hot tent, little bit of snowshoe, or, you know, not even skiing. If you started skiing in this thing, you would die of heat. So I'm looking forward to getting out, putting some smoke on this, some dirt on it, some pine needles, getting some use out of it. So please let me know what you think. If you'd comment down below. I am not a professional seamster. I don't know what to call a guy. So there's a lot of little errors here and there, but overall this will be a very serviceable, very warm. As a matter of fact, sitting by this fire right here, I am roasting. So yeah, let me know what you think. Thank you for coming along. These are really, really simple to make. You know, a whole bunch of squares and rectangles just all sewn together. The hood was probably the hardest to figure out. The front lace system, it took a little figuring out, but everything's just folded over. I got a grommet kit or an eyelet kit and just punched holes, put everything together. A really, really simple project for a great, great product. And I am probably 40, 45, I'm less than $50 into this. Is it the same quality as a Leicester River or a Boreal Mountain or a, what is the other one, Weather Wool? I don't know. I can't afford their product, so I don't know the difference. But I got to make this to my specifications, so to me it's better. So please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and get out and adventure. Hey guys, it's Clay on the trail. I am out in my shop today, having a blustery kind of day, finally getting some snow. Thank goodness. It's almost the end of January, and I think we have maybe an inch, inch and a half of snow we're getting right now, but the weather patterns are supposed to be changing. Well, for the better, I guess. It's hard to do a lot of snow camping, skiing, and that kind of stuff without snow.